Hi and welcome everyone to another video on my channel. My name is Denis and today I'm going to show you 3 drafts for the new season of Fantasy Premier League. So if you enjoy this content, please consider leaving a like, hit that subscribe button, but now let's get into it. Okay, so as I said before, since a lot of people asked me to do a draft without Mohamed Salah, I decided to make 3 drafts in this video. So what you're going to see here is going to be a draft with Erling Haaland, you're going to see a draft without any of them, and you're going to see a draft with both of them. So hopefully you're going to enjoy it. Hopefully it's going to be helpful. We're going to do that on the Fantasy Football Hub. As I talked before, as you can see here, my team rating is 92%. We're going to talk firstly about this draft where we have Erling Haaland. Now you're not going to see such big differences with the Haaland draft or a Salah draft, because obviously Haaland is 14 millions, Salah is just with 0.5 millions more expensive, so it's not going to be such a big difference, but I tried to make it also. So Sanchez, Dubravka, I think that this is the standard option in the goalkeeper spots. Now obviously you can go for someone like Sales, you can go for someone like Henderson from Crystal Palace, or for someone like Kelleher if you want to save some cash, if he's going to be available for game week 1, because at the moment it doesn't look like he's going to feature in game week 1. In defense, we have Van de Ven, Nico Williams, Diouf, Lacroix, Esteve. So a lot of players who you also said yesterday in my team selection video. I really like these players. Obviously, if you want to make some changes, I used all of my budget in this draft. You can make some changes here and there if you don't really like these players. Palmer, Wirtz, Njae, Dewsbury Hall and Rogers. Now probably here, if Rogers is going to be available, he's going to be starting for you in game week 1 against Newcastle. I think that he's a great option at 7 millions, but there is a little bit of a risk because at the moment he is in training, but we're not sure if he's going to start or how bad his injury was, but I suspect that Rogers is going to start. Now if we talk a little bit about midfield, if you don't like Wirtz at 8.5 millions, that's perfectly fine. You can just upgrade him to Bruno Fernandes. At 9 millions, you can make some downgrades. If you don't like Rogers, you can buy someone like Sar. You can buy someone like Anderson if you want, but here in this draft you have someone like Dewsbury Hall and Rogers. Now most of the weeks you're going to play with these 4 midfielders, Palmer, Wirtz, Njae and Rogers, and when you really need it you can play someone like Dewsbury Hall, who I think that he can be really great value at 5 millions. I think that he's going to get good minutes. Maybe he's going to play as an 8 or as a 10 some games, and probably he's going to be also on some set pieces. Now obviously here you have Haaland, Watkins and Joao Pedro. So the big upgrade in this draft is the forward line, because I really like it. 3 really amazing strikers. The fixtures are great for all of them to start the season with. So yeah, obviously you can make some changes. If you don't want someone like Watkins, you can just buy Gyökeres. If you want to upgrade Wirtz to Bruno Fernandes, you can downgrade someone like Joao Pedro to Semenyo, to Evan Nilsson, if you don't think that Joao Pedro is going to get 90 minutes every gaming. But overall, I think that this is a really strong draft. Again, you can make some upgrades. If you want someone like Pedro Porro instead of Van de Ven, you really need to make some sacrifices. You can buy someone like Richards instead of Lacroix. Now overall, I really like this draft. Personally, I'm going to go probably with the Mohamed Salah draft, but I don't think that it's such a big difference between them. Please let me know about your opinion in the comments down below, but now let's move to the next one. Okay, so since I'm going to show you my drafts here on the Fantasy Football Hub app, I just want to show you real short what you can do here on the app. So you can import your team real easy by just clicking that button. Then you're going to upload your screenshot with your team, and they're just going to populate it just like that. Click optimize, and there you have it, your team for game week 1, also rated 86%. As you can see here, you can have your team rated for free by clicking the link in my description. And also obviously here you can see game week 2, game week 3. You can plan for the future. They have a lot of tools. They have Opta stats. They have pretty much all the stats you want to see: XG, expected goals, expected assists, defensive contributions, predicted points for the players for the future. And there is a big discount at the moment, 50%. If you find this app useful, you can buy a membership, and if you're not going to win your mini league, they are just going to give you your money back. So I think that's a nice deal, and definitely if you want to check it, you can have it with the link in my description. Okay, so now moving forward, here you're going to see a draft without Mohamed Salah and without Erling Haaland. Now to be honest with you, I regret a little bit making this draft because it is really strong, to be honest with you, and I wish I could go for it, but obviously it's not for everyone. I'm not recommending anyone to go with this draft if you can't take the risk, obviously. obviously, because if you're going without Haaland, without Mohamed Salah, those two players could easily score a lot of points. But overall, the team structure of this team is really strong, and you can afford pretty much every player you want. As you can see, this team is rated 95%, so better than the first one with Haaland. You can have your team rated for free, so don't forget about that, guys. You can do that with the link in my description on Fantasy Football Hub. Now, the goalkeepers are the same: Sanchez, Dubravka. In defense, as you're not going to have Haaland and Salah, you have a lot of budget to play around, and I played around with it a little bit. As you can see, Pedro Porro, Frimpong, Nico Williams, Lacroix, Esteves. So your backline is really strong. Obviously, most of the time is going to play Pedro Porro, Frimpong, and Nico Williams. But what I really like about this draft also, Pedro Porro, if you have a Spurs defender, just buy another Crystal Palace defender because they rotate really well. And when Pedro Porro is going to play against Man City in Game Week 2, as you can see here, Lacroix is going to play against Nottingham Forest. Now, if you want to make some upgrades elsewhere, you can just buy Richards from Crystal Palace, who's 4.5 millions, and just upgrade Njaya to someone like Rogers if you want to. But as you can see here, the power of this draft is in its attack pretty much. You have five really good midfielders, and you also have Watkins and Joao Pedro. Now, if we talk a little bit about Frimpong, again, there could be someone like Van Dijk, could be Gabriel, could be Anuary, could be Cucurella if you want. But I just opted here for Frimpong because I think that he's also going to be a decent option in the first fixtures of the season. He has a lot of attacking threat. So yeah, if you want to go for a little bit of swag into your team, let's just call it like that, Frimpong is your guy probably. Nico Williams, again, you can buy someone like Murillo, someone like Milenkovic. I think that both of them are better individually as Nico Williams because they are good at defensive contributions. Milenkovic also has a lot of attacking threat from the set pieces, but Nico Williams is 0.5 million cheaper. So if you want to upgrade to someone like Milenkovic, that would also work. Now, as I said before, the power of this draft is about, it's all about the midfield here. So you have Palmer, Wirtz, Bruno Fernandes, Bukayo Saka. Now, obviously, if you want to have four premium midfielders, but again, if you're not going for Haaland, if you're not going for Salah, you need to spend some cash elsewhere. And I really like this midfield, to be honest with you. So Palmer, Bruno Fernandes, Njae, who all are penalty takers. Maybe even Saka is going to be on penalties. We don't know yet for sure. Maybe Gyökeres is going to be on them, but again, five really amazing midfielders. To be honest with you, you can swap someone like Njaya to someone like Rogers. As I said before, you can buy someone like Anderson from Nottingham Forest if you want to, but you have a lot of budget to play, so I don't see the need of having really cheap midfielder. Now, obviously, you need to choose really your formation. You could even go for a 3-4-3 formation with someone like Gyökeres and just downgrade someone like Wirtz or maybe someone like Bruno Fernandes, and that could also work. You really need to choose. These are the questions you need to ask yourself for all the drafts. You want to go for a cheap midfielder like Anderson, maybe a 5 million midfielder like Dewsbury Hall, or you want to go for Mark Guyu at 4.5 million for, because I think that you can have a dead spot in your team. That's my perspective. That's what I think you should do. Again, instead of Esteve, you can have someone like Rondon, you can have someone like Gudmundsson, someone like Reinildo, whichever 4 million defender you like. I really like this draft. So all these players, who can say that Bruno Fernandes, Palmer, Saka can't outscore Mohamed Salah in the first game weeks of the season? No one can say that. Now, obviously, there is a big risk going without Salah and Haaland, but these players are fully capable of matching Mohamed Salah's points or even outscoring him. So again, I really like this draft. You have Joao Pedro. You can have another striker if you want. You can have someone like Gyökeres. You can play a little bit with this draft. To be honest with you, I didn't think too much about this draft because I don't really want to take that risk, but I think that it could work out. Maybe you want to use your wildcard early, maybe you want to use your bench boost early. If you want to use your bench boost in Game Week 1, obviously you need to make some changes. And yeah, maybe let's try to do it. Let's say you don't want Bruno Fernandes. In that case, you can go for someone like Anderson to try to save up some cash. So again, someone like Van de Ven could be okay for Game Week 1, and in attack we have 7.5 millions. You can go for someone like Wood or whichever striker you want. Now, again, probably if you're bench boosting in Game Week 1, you're not going to go with Lacroix. You need to buy another defender here, someone like Diouf. if I can write his name correctly. So again, and also you're going to have 0.5 millions in the bank with this draft. So it really depends what you want to do. If you want to use your bench boost in game week 1, it is something like this. Now again, maybe not Bukayo Saka, you can buy other player there, but honestly there aren't a lot of good expensive midfielders at that price. But with this formation you're going to have someone like not Dubravka, we're going to change him. Nico Williams, Diouf, and Anderson on your bench, and you can have a 4.5 million goalkeeper. Let's just say someone like Verbruggen, probably. So yeah, this would be something like a game week 1 bench boost for me. And again, this is just if you want to use your wildcard early on and get rid of these players, because you can go with this formation for 2, 3, 4 game weeks, but then I suspect that you're going to need someone of Mohamed Salah, someone of Haaland. And again, you need to not have your funds spread that much because obviously you have a lot of money onto your bench. But now let's move to the last draft. Okay, so now let's move to my final draft. Now this draft is with both of them in our team, Mohamed Salah and Erling Haaland. Now this is the draft I like the least, to be honest with you, because you need to make a lot of sacrifices to have Salah, Palmer, and Haaland into your draft. Now obviously you can go without someone like Palmer, but I just think that he's a great option. And again, I'm not saying that you should not go with this strategy. Both these players, all three of these players, should score a lot of points because they are the most expensive players in the game. Salah, Palmer, and Erling Haaland. So we're expecting obviously them to score a lot of points this season, but it's just you just need to take a lot of sacrifices into your team, and that's what I don't really like. Now obviously if things are going to go wrong, we can always use our wildcard, we can always make some transfers to try to correct them. Now again, in defense, as you can see here, a part I don't really like about this draft is your defense is going to be a little bit weak in terms of you're not going to have probably a 6 million defender if you don't really want to make a lot of sacrifices in midfield and in the forward line. Now here we have Van de Ven, Nico Williams, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Dorgu, Esteve. So it is not such a bad backline or something like that, but you're just not going to be so flexible in terms of if you have someone like Virgil van Dijk, you can easily swap to a cheaper defender. Now from here it's going to be tough for you to buy someone like Munoz, for an example, if you want to sell someone like Nico Williams if he's going to get an injury or something like that. But in terms of picks, these are strong picks, and as you can see here, I picked Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Dorgu to give you another example of a good rotation. Aaron Wan-Bissaka is playing against Sunderland in game week 1. Dorgu is playing against Fulham, Burnley in game week 2, game week 3. Also, I think that Dorgu is a nice option for those of us who really like attacking defenders and you don't really want to have a lot of defensive contributions monsters. Now, again, this defense, I think that it can work out. Obviously, you have Mohamed Salah, you have Haaland, you have Palmer. So that's perfect. That's fantastic. You have three players who probably are going to be the top scorers of FPL this season. But other than that, you need to make some sacrifices. As I said before, you're going to have someone like Anderson, someone like Sar, someone like Njay, and someone like Strand Larsen in your attack. Again, these players are not bad players. I picked them because I think that they could be great value for their prices. So overall, I think that if you really want to do this, if you want to go with both of them, it could work out because you're picking also players who could be great options like Njay, like Sar, like Anderson. Anderson is going to be amazing for defensive contributions. He's going to get good minutes. The fixtures are great for Nottingham Forest. But again, if you want to make some changes here, I'm just going to show you some other options. You can have someone like Reinders, a little bit of more of a risk than someone like Anderson, because although I'm expecting him to play most games for Manchester City, it's about Manchester City, it's the Pep Roulette, and at some point you need to expect him to be benched. So if you don't want to take that risk of him getting benched or getting subbed at halftime or something like that, just don't go with him. But again, he has the potential. We don't know how good he's going to be for defensive contributions. Definitely not as good as someone like Anderson for Nottingham Forest, but he has the potential to outscore him every gaming pretty much if he's going to get along with some assists, with some goals. If you guys remember Gundogan some years ago at Manchester City, he was scoring a lot of goals. Now again, we can't really make that comparison, but yeah, he is a really interesting option, a more exciting option than someone like Anderson from Nottingham Forest, for an example. Again, you can have here someone like Rodgers, you can have Someone like Dewsbury Hall, someone like Arias from Wolverhampton could be a nice option, but I would not double up on Wolverhampton. So again, instead of Strand Larsen, you don't really have a lot of options. You have someone like Welbeck maybe, but it is a little bit of a risk with him. You have someone like Thiago from Brentford, but again, they are not an amazing attack at the moment. Brentford, we don't know if they are not going to sign another striker, so there is a little bit of a risk there also. And the 5.5 million forward, I don't really like any of them at the moment. So again, Strand Larsen, I think that he could be a nice option. Yeah, in midfield you have other options. If we select here under point 6, point 7, something like that, you can go for, and just let's pick midfielders, you can go for someone like Tielemans, someone like Jorginho Rutter could be a nice punt if you want to go there, someone like Wilson. Again, these players are a little bit of a risk, if you ask me. Obviously, someone like Mitoma could be great, someone like Dewsbury Hall, someone like Enzo. Again, it really depends here about your preferences. For an example, I really like someone like Minte. I think that is going to be a great option this season, and you have the money to do this. Now, please let me know down in the comments down below, which draft do you like the most, what would you change, and also what's about your draft. Are you going with Salah? Are you going with Haaland? Are you going with both of them? Are you going without neither of them? But again, thank you so much for watching this long. I really appreciate it, and it really means a lot. And if you enjoy my content, please consider leaving a like, hit that subscribe button, and I'm going to see you next time. Bye.
Bag buralor, când mă întreabă oamenii de unde sunt le zic de va. Apoi îmi bag buralor.